Hey guitar friends! If you watch this video in its entirety, you will know what all the greatest guitar players in the world have in common. And you can gain the very same abilities for yourself. Hi, I'm Adam Levine from Adam Loves Guitar, and I've condensed things down for you to 5 main foundational elements that great guitarists have in common. And I want to share those with you. But first, for context, I'd like you to think about something. I'd like to ask you, what kind of guitar player are you? Not what style you play, but what is your relationship with your guitar and with music? You see, there's 2 kinds of guitar players. The first category would be guitar players that need to physically play a note, and then the sound of that note is heard. In other words, they play a note, and they think, oh, that's what that note sounds like. And then the second category would be guitar players that intuitively know what a note or even a series of notes will sound like before they even play them. The notes are heard in the brain first and instantaneously connected to the fingers, what the mind is hearing. The greatest guitar players on earth all belong to the second group. They have the seemingly superhuman ability to hear music in their mind and instantaneously express it on the guitar. So how do we get there? How do you create music in your mind and make the connection to your fingers? I imagine you want to be able to intuitively flow from note to note across the entire fretboard, right? Well, if you understand and apply these 5 fundamental elements I'm going to share with you in a moment, I believe you're going to be well on your way to making the mind-fingers connection. So yes, we are going to nail the minor pentatonic scale across the entire fretboard, but at the same time, we want to use the minor pent as a vehicle to burn in those 5 elements to create improvised solos that keep your listener engaged from the first note to the last note. And that's the winning combination that I have used ever since I discovered it through years of playing concerts and recording sessions. I want you to know, and I want to show you, that there is an underlying logic to why are the strings tuned the way they are. And when you understand this, a whole new way of visualizing and, most importantly, hearing the fretboard will be revealed to you. Now I want to reveal the 5 fundamental elements we guitarists want to master. So number 1 is fretboard note recognition. You need to know the name of every note on the fretboard. Once I teach you that underlying fretboard logic, and it doesn't take that long to learn, you will achieve that ability, and I've got to say it's pretty fantastic. I'm not talking about all the crutches that are used to learn your notes, like playing a note on 1 string and then going up 2 frets and over 2 strings and then connecting your octaves. That's a crutch. I'm talking about a whole new way of visualizing and, again, hearing the notes in your mind. Your fretboard's going to come alive, and it's going to open up a whole new world of creatively making music on your guitar. It's like the notes of the fretboard will light up for you. And you think of every note as a springboard into a longer melodic idea. With about 10 minutes a day of our structured practice system, you are going to have the fretboard completely memorized in 30 days or less. Number 2 is called position playing and what we call riding the rails. In a nutshell, you need to understand that your fretting hand will either be A, playing in position, which means the fretting hand covers a 4-fret area on the fretboard. For instance, one might say, I'm playing this in 4th position. That means you're locked into keeping the hand at the 4th fret, and the fingers hover over the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th frets. 1 fret area for each finger. So that covers what we call position playing. And now we're going to talk about the B section of element 2, which is called riding the rails. And this involves isolating any 2 or 3 adjacent strings and traveling up and down on those 2 or 3 strings, going up and down in a linear fashion on the guitar. Understanding how melodic ideas connect up and down the fretboard gives you the freedom to explore the entire fretboard and not be locked into just one area, or what we call a box. And that brings us to the third element, and we call that the nucleus patterns. Using the essential nucleus patterns, which are 6 notes and as easy to learn and memorize as the days of the week, this will give you the power to smoothly navigate and connect soloing ideas from the open strings to the upper boundaries of your fretboard. Not only that, but you're going to be able to transition into any other key with minimum effort. For instance, let's say you're in the key of A minor and you need to shift into the key of C minor. It's actually quite simple once you get this system together. Now let's go on to element number 4. And developing your left and right hand coordination allows your 2 hands to work as one. To achieve this, you're going to get a structured system that will enable you to measure your success by playing specially designed etudes that are fun to play, they sound good, and at the same time they get both your hands synced up to work as one finely tuned machine. In the same way a martial artist trains one to instinctively respond to a situation, the etudes are going to train you to have the ability to respond intuitively to any musical situation, essentially getting you into what is referred to as being in the zone. And that brings us to the 5th element, and maybe the most important one. Tell a story. In other words, how do you create a melodic solo that tells a story that has a beginning, middle, and an end, a solo that takes the listener on a journey. Think of how a well-written story draws the reader in. A great solo captures the interest and emotion of the listener and keeps them on the edge of their seat, wondering, where is this story going? And you keep your listener listening to you to the very last note. The best minor pentatonic scale course for guitar has been developed and structured so that you can learn and develop these 5 essential fundamental skills in a logical, engaging, and highly effective way, so that you can begin to apply them to your playing from the moment you begin the course. When you take the best minor pentatonic course for guitar, you're going to receive the instructional videos of me demonstrating the material. You'll get inspiring backing tracks to practice your soloing and prepare you to play with other musicians. And you're going to receive a collection of really cool practice etudes that will improve your improvisational skills and technique. Everything in this course is designed to unleash your creative prowess on the fretboard. Plus, you get a full-color, downloadable workbook for those times you prefer to get away from your computer to practice. The etudes will streamline your practicing process and burn in the technique and agility you need to become an instinctual player. The backing tracks give you the sense of playing with other musicians so you can feel how your soloing ideas are working, and you'll feel prepared and confident to play and improvise in a friendly jam or with other musicians. We have developed a practicing framework that will help you stay on track and enable you to measure your success. This way you'll know you are getting better every day. You're going to have the tools so that you can improvise in any key, anywhere on the fretboard. If you think about it, to get everything this course offers you would probably take months of expensive private lessons or years of trying to learn through random YouTube videos. If you had the time and money, you might enroll in an expensive class at an educational institute, but it's pretty likely they won't have it distilled down and organized for you as effectively as it is here. So from the comfort of your own home and studio, you can start improving right now. Just click the button below to be on your way to a new relationship with your guitar and get to the heart and soul of blues, rock, and country improvisation. By the way, for what it's worth, the methods that I have developed and teach are honed from many years of working with students both privately and in the classroom. I've been fortunate to be associated with some of the finest schools in the world, actually. The Grove School of Music in Los Angeles, where I was director of the guitar program, Musicians Institute, the Aspen Music School, and the National Guitar Workshops. At the same time, I was working as a studio musician in Los Angeles. Now I'm taking all of the amazing experiences I've had and developing courses to get you on the path to becoming the musician you aspire to be. I want you to feel confident knowing you were doing it the right way. I want you to understand there's an underlying logic to the fretboard. And I want you to gain the ears and technique you need to have the ability to create music in an intuitive and natural way. In other words, play what you're hearing in your head. I love when my students thank me for giving them the tools that they now have to feel confident in situations they previously didn't know how to deal with. It doesn't matter if you're in high school, college, jamming with friends, a weekend warrior, or even a seasoned rocker who wants to further your abilities and skills. If you have the desire to dig in and get to work on being able to improvise across the entire fretboard, now is the time to get on your path to creating a strong foundation from which to build on every time you pick up your guitar. And don't forget that you can take advantage of a time-limited pre-sale discount we are offering right now. Click the link below and we'll get going right away. I truly am excited about this, so sign up today for a wonderful guitar-changing experience.